several years ago, I was working in a group home with some gang kids, and these kids were really out of control for some really severe behavioral issues. And this one night I said, we're gonna go bowling. Everybody needs to vacuum their room before they go bowling. And all the kids quickly vacuumed the room, took care of the chores so we could go. But this one kid was the holdout. No matter what I said to him, he would not go vacuum his room. I'm like, please, please. I'm begging this kid, negotiating with him. Finally, I said, you know what? I'm going to pull the white van around to the front of the house, and we're all going to be in the van. I'm really trying to put intense peer pressure on this kid to get him. I'm a real smart therapist, So I'm kind of backing this kid into the corner. He pretty much has to go vacuum his room, but this was not the right kid to put this kind of pressure on. And so all the kids get in the van. I'm climbing into the van. All the kids in the van are like, Mr. Moore, turn around, turn around. All I can visualize is a baseball bat, a golf club. Something is about to clock me in the back of the head. But it was way worse than that. When I turned around, the kid went, and spit in my face. And this is how I felt. I had snot on my forehead, on my eyebrow, on my lip. And now I can get this kid on assault charges. I can get this kid on, if I want revenge, there is 100 tools at my disposal. Does that make sense, to get revenge on this kid? And to be really honest with you, how I grew up, if someone spits in your face, guess what? You can kill someone for that. Literally, there's a waiver in the hood. If someone spits in your face, you just do what you need to do. And if you haven't lost respect for me, this will probably do it for you. There was a stucco wall about 6 feet away. All I could visualize was dragging this kid's head down the stucco wall, but I reminded myself they will not let you be a clinical social worker if you do that. So I looked at this young man. I said, look, I understand why you spit in my face. If I had a life like yours, I'd be spitting in someone's face too. And this young man started shaking like a leaf. I said, look, every time you did this, what happened? He said, Mr. Moore, you're weak, you're a punk. I said, you started fighting with them. Every time you did this, that's what happened. I said, if you lined up 100 people and you punch or spit at 99 of them, 99 are going to punch or spit back at you. The 100th person that doesn't punch you back is 10 times stronger than the other 99. But these kids have been socialized the opposite almost their entire lives. TV, media, everything teaches them, if someone hits you, you have to hit back. If someone puts you down, you have to put them down harder. I talked to them about the civil rights movement. I said, do you have any idea about the civil rights movement? Why was Dr. King so powerful in that movement? Because he was in the position, his power came from giving up the power. His power came from not fighting back. There's a power in that. But you can see it's a major flip the switch. It's a major reframe. And for me, how that ties to relational resilience is that young man was dependent upon me. And I had to tap into that relational resilience. And him being dependent on me is a reason to be able to have the strength to say to him, I understand why you did this. I had seen the kid's psychosocial history, some of the challenges. The other thing was all the other kids in that group home were dependent upon me. Everybody with me on that? And so the other day I was speaking to a group of kids in a detention center about this. I said, how many of you want to have kids one day? Almost every kid in the room, several of them said we already have kids. But I said, okay, I understand that, but I said, you have to do this for those kids. Does that make sense? You want to be resilient for your future kids, for your current kids. You have to use that as fuel. So relationships are one place the resiliency comes from. It's where resiliency is born, is in those connections within those relationships.